I'll be honest, this is the 6th time I've compiled this video, just because of the software I'm using had an error or I mess up, but here we go. This video is going to be on making a progress bar, and this progress bar is going to show the progress of how much of a folder has been copied over, so it's a really useful thing when it comes to writing programs. So I'm using Visual Studio 2010, and we're going to make a Visual Basic project. So click the New Folder button, or New Project button, sorry. Make sure you're on Visual Basic, click Windows Form Application, and I'm going to put this on my desktop down here, just so it's ease of access, so I can find it easily. And I'm going to call it YouTube Progress Bar. Now I'm going to make it a little bit longer, a little bit wider. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to alphabetical. Go down here, change the text to copy folder. The start position to center screen. The folder form border style to fixed tool. And now we need a label. Drag it into the top left corner, and then I'm going to change the auto size to false. And I'm going to drag it out. Now we need 3 lines of text to show up. In order to determine how big that is, I'm going to just type in 3 lines of text, and I'm just drag this out until I can see all of it, and then I'll delete the text. And then now that we have it big enough, I'm going to right click on it and hit copy, and then right click, hit paste. Makes the second one the same size, and now we have 2 labels. Now we need 3 buttons. I'm going to do copy and paste with Control C, Control V. It's quick and easy. And now we need another label, but this label is going to be only 2 lines of text big. So I'm going to put 2 lines there, and I'm going to shrink it and get rid of the text again. And I'm sorry if I'm moving fast, but I have to go quickly in order to be in the 10-minute time frame for YouTube. And then now I have another progress bar. I need a progress bar. Now, a quick, easy way to make this as big as your form is docking, and we want to dock it to the bottom. And now we resize this so it's pretty close to the label. It's a little too close. And now one more thing on this label right here, we want to change the text align to top middle, and we want to change the name to label %. And we're going to change the text of this label to choose the folder to copy, and we're going to change this label to choose the folder to copy it into, and the first button is going to be choose the folder. The second one's going to be choose the destination folder, and the third button is going to be just copy. Resize it so you can see the text. And then we're going to go click on the button, go to Format, Center and Form horizontally. Makes it look a lot better. And we're going to get rid of Label 3's text. Now the next thing we're going to do is we need to go to Project, YouTube Progress Bar Properties. You can also do that by going to Solution Explorer, double clicking on my project. And we need to go to References. We need to add a reference. Go to the COM. And we need to go to Microsoft Scripting runtime. It's way down the list. It's a little over halfway. Past it. Minecraft scripting runtime. Click OK. And once that's done, you can close this. It already saved. And now we are ready to code. So right-click, View Code. Now, the way I'm going to have to do this is I'm going to pause. You're going to have to pause the video and type out all the code, because I don't have enough time to actually type it in the video. So here's the code. You're going to type import scripting, and then you're going to dim these variables, and you're going to type this private sub reset things, and add this code inside of it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to click choose this folder, or double click on the button that says choose this folder, and then here's the code for the button. Alright, here's the code. Now you'll notice that you're getting a couple errors. Well, we need to go back to the designer, so right click, view designer, and we need to add a timer, and we need to add a folder browser dialog. And then when you go back to this, it'll work. So here's the code for the first button. Now we need code for the second button. So double click on the second button, brings this up, and here's the code. Please note that all of the comments I put in here are worthwhile reading. I wouldn't put it in there otherwise. I just put it on there so it explains things to you, so it makes sense to you. Now the next thing we're going to do is make a function. It's really simple. You just type private function, you give the function its name, get folder size, and you type file path as string, and it does the rest for you, and here's the code for it. Now you'll notice that there's a big comment in here. This will help explain what I'm going to demonstrate later in the video if I have time, but basically it would be pretty smart of you to read it. The next thing we're going to do is the button 3 code. So double click on the button 3, and here's the code. Alright, you see this shell and it says this copy.exe? We're actually going to make this program in just a moment, but what this does is this loads the program that we're going to use, and the one that we're writing right now is actually going to show how much the folder is copied over, but this copy.exe is the actual program that's going to copy the folders. This program right here is actually going to copy the folders over, and the one we're doing right now is going to show how much has been copied. If that doesn't confuse you. The next thing I'm going to do is the timer. Now I'm going to change the interval to 250 because it's measured in milliseconds, and I want it to update 4 times a second. So 1000 divided by 4 is 250. But the reason I put it at 250 and I didn't leave it at 100 is this timer is how it updates the progress bar. So 4 times a second it's going to be updating this progress bar, which that's a lot. And if you have a wireless network, if it's doing it 4 times a second, it's going to eventually overload the router. So if you have a wireless network, I'd recommend putting it at 1 second or every 2 seconds. But go ahead and double click on the timer, and here's the code for the timer tick event. Remember, comments are helpful. You don't have to type them, but it'd be pretty smart to read them. Now the last thing we're going to do, sorry, don't forget this part, it's kind of important. Alright, now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a form 1 event, and it's going to be a form closing event. Now here's the code for it. Alright, I'm going to bring this down to 2 lines just so you can see it, but you should leave it on 1 line. Now after you have all this